guys, welcome back to the channel. As you may notice, it looks a little bit different than it has in the past, and that is because I've kind of changed my setup here. So the usual setup, which is my kitchen, is that way. And my window that I always talk about that I'm facing usually is still that way. But instead of looking at it straight on this way, I'm kind of doing an angled thing so that you can kind of see my makeup desk in the background, and it just looks a little brighter and nicer, and I don't know, it's just, I think it's going to be better this way. There's a few pros and cons to this setup. I mean, I think it looks aesthetically better, but at the same time, like the lighting, like I said, it's not going to give you as much of an accurate view of my makeup looks just because there is going to be more light hitting me from the window side. But let's be honest, like I'm not like doing a whole ton of makeup like tutorials or anything like that compared to a lot of other YouTubers that are a lot better at that kind of stuff. I'm more of like makeup commentary type stuff instead, so it's not like the biggest deal if you can't see like a super accurate view of my makeup. But yeah, with that said, I'll just jump into today's video. So today's video is kind of just like a rundown of some of the stuff that's been going on with makeup brands in the past week. Actually, there's been a lot of news, I guess. So first thing I'll touch on is the news with Too Faced. Sorry if I'm looking down, I'm just getting my notes here. So as I mentioned in a previous video, obviously NikkieTutorials came out as transgender this week, earlier this week, and I made a quick little video about that right after it happened and stuff, and that was before all this new development happened. But basically, a lot of people, you know, were coming out supporting her and stuff, and then there was a little bit of a rift between her and Jared Blandino's sister. So Jared Blandino is the former owner, I believe, and like founder of Too Faced, and he has since sold the company to Estee Lauder, but he still like has a lot of creative control and stuff, so he's still involved with Too Faced. And his sister, I guess, is also in some way involved in Too Faced, like at some level. So that's kind of why she's relevant, I guess. So basically, after Nikki came out as trans, this sister or whatever like wrote some pretty mean stuff on social media about it, basically saying like, I think she updated her social media to say something along the lines of like, oh, transgender, that's not the only thing you're lying about, or something like just really rude and unnecessary, to be honest. So basically after that happened, there was like a whole bunch of people kind of saying it was shady and like accusing her of maybe being the one that was like blackmailing Nikki or whatever to come out. I don't know why I did air quotes. It's not like fake blackmail, it's legit blackmail. But yeah, so because Nikki never revealed who was actually the blackmailer, like people were starting to think, oh, maybe it was this girl, maybe it was Too Faced, maybe it was blah blah blah, and it just started the internet you know, on fire about that. So a lot of people were saying they were going to boycott Too Faced and this and that, and Too Faced already has a bit of a stigma associated with it. A lot of people already have boycotted them in the past for other drama related stuff, but this was kind of like the last straw for a lot of people. And since then there's been, so that was all just kind of like a recap because I'm sure you guys have already heard about all of that, but there is like some more breaking news, I guess, about this whole fiasco. So as of yesterday, so today's January 17th, I'm going to try and post this today so it's still relevant. But yesterday, January 16th, Jared Blandino actually issued a statement regarding his sister's actions and stuff. So I'm just going to read you guys the statement that he made about this. Just so that I'm not paraphrasing and you get like, you know, exactly what he said. So he said, I would like to make sure that it is understood that although I love my sister very much, the things she says or does have absolutely nothing to do with me and do not in any way reflect me, my opinions, thoughts, or feelings, nor speak for me or Too Faced in any way, shape, or form. I have always stood for love, equality, and kindness in my life and everything I do. I am sorry for the hurt she has caused. Let it be known that I am truly shocked and disgusted to my core at her recent actions. I do not tolerate this behavior, and she is no longer an employee at Too Faced. I would like to say how proud I am of NikkieTutorials and how inspired I am for her strength and sharing her beautiful truth with the world. I'm sending all my love to her. So that was the response that Jared gave on this whole thing, and he did mention in there, the most significant part of that message, I think, is that he has fired his sister from the company. So that shows how, like, I guess, since, like, it shows another level of sincerity, because it's one thing to be able to say, like, oh, I don't support what she's saying, blah, 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 and then just not really take any action about it. So the fact that he has actually gone on to terminate her employment with the company really speaks to how sincere, I guess, he is in that. And I'm not trying to, like, defend him or say that, you know, all of you guys should go back to buying Too Faced stuff. I mean, that's really a personal choice. I know a lot of people are still going to be boycotting, but I just would like to know your thoughts on this. Like, do you feel like he took the appropriate action? Do you think it was not enough? Like, he should have done more? I mean, and if so, what more could he have done besides firing her? Because at a certain point, it's like everyone likes to, like, kind of shit on Too Faced a lot, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it at times, but, like, at a certain point, it's like, when you have a problem with the sister or whatever, and then he takes the step to remove her from the equation, what more can you really ask of him to do? So I guess the way I personally feel about it is I've always loved Too Faced like products. There have been a couple of things that like some drama that I've seen with Jared that I didn't super love, but, like, it was never really enough for me to, like, fully take the plunge into, like, boycott territory. But, you know, this latest thing with the comments that his sister made were pretty bad. Like, I think we can all admit that. But then when he did go on to, you know, fire her and say that that doesn't represent his thoughts and feelings and stuff like that, I kind of feel like we have, like, such a cancel culture in today's society where people just want to write people off and write, you know, brands off because they made one mistake or whatever. And I think it's important to consider that he is trying to rectify the situation. He is taking the appropriate, in my opinion, the appropriate steps to fix it if possible. I mean, when you have an employee that does something like that, all you can really do as the employer is to make sure that it doesn't happen again, is to fire them. And he's appeared to have done that. So I feel like, what more can we really ask of him? That being said, if things continue, like, going forward and some other kind of scandal happens, like, my mind isn't made up one way or the other. And I guess I want to, like I said, you guys are entitled to your own opinions. And if you want to boycott them, then that's fine. But I would like to encourage people to maybe not take, like, a super hardline stance on it. Like, I've heard a lot of people making videos in the last day or so saying, that's it, I'm never buying from Too Faced ever again. And then just within the last day, it's been announced that he has terminated his sister from the company. So now it's like all those people either have to come back and say, okay, never mind, like, he fixed it, kind of, and whatever, or they have to stick to their boycott now, even though I feel like he's kind of made up for it a little bit. And now it just kind of looks dumb for them to, like, continue this whole, like, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I mean, could get worse. Something else could happen, and then that could, again, I guess I'm just trying to encourage people to keep their minds open to changing. So, like, I'm keeping my mind open to changing. Like, if something else happens in the next forevermore, like, into the future, if anything happens at any point, that's enough for me to be like, oh, that's disgusting, that's horrible, like, I'm boycotting or whatever. I'm still open to that possibility. I'm not, like, standing the brand or anything like that. But as of right now, I feel like he responded in an appropriate fashion. So we'll see what happens going forward. Okay, so that's the first little bit of drama, makeup brand drama that kind of has happened in the past week. And then I'm going to get into the next story. The next story is regarding Kat Von D. So I think this was also yesterday. It was very recently. It was this week for sure. Kat Von D actually made a statement saying that she is leaving her makeup brand and has completely stepped back from it entirely, like, has no role in that company anymore whatsoever. So she has also made a statement I'm going to read here for you guys. So she said, this past year has been one of great change for me. As many of you know, I gave birth to my beautiful baby boy, launched my vegan shoe line, and now I'm busy prepping to release my long-awaited album in the spring, followed by an international tour. As much as I wish I could balance all of this on top of continuing my makeup line, it has become clear to me that I just can't do everything at the maximum capacity. It is hard to admit this since I've always said you can do everything and anything, but I don't think admitting one's limits is a bad thing. With that said, I've decided to sell my shares of the brand, turning it over to Kendo, my partners for the past 11 years. This was not an easy decision, but after careful consideration, I decided that I wanted the makeup line to continue to thrive and grow, and I believe Kendo is primed to do just that. The transition for you, my loyal customers, will be seamless. In order to avoid any confusion with such a big change, Kat Von D Beauty will take a moment to rebrand itself, so you will start noticing the change from Kat Von D Beauty to KVD Vegan Beauty. I'd like to thank my beloved fans and followers who supported my vision to create a brand that stood for compassion, true artistry, and challenged modern ideals of beauty, most of which I never could relate to. I was able to create a makeup line that made outsiders like me feel like we have a place in this beauty world, and gave myself and others the tools to express ourselves in our own unique way, whether it was embraced by the majority or not. And I just couldn't have done any of this without you. Lastly, thank you for understanding and respecting my choice, as it is a difficult one to make, but one I am proud of regardless, and I'm confident that the team will continue the KVD legacy. Here's to many, many more years of KVD Vegan Beauty. So that was her statement. I just wanted to read that in full, again, so that I'm not misrepresenting anything these people are saying. I'm trying to, like, accurately just, you know, tell the story as they wanted it told, as they put in their own statements. This to me, it was like sort of surprising, but at the same time not at all, because Kat Von D's makeup line has been like basically tanking ever since she came out as an anti-vaxxer. And it's kind of similar. That's why I put these two topics together in one video, because I feel like it is kind of similar to the Too Faced thing, where the personal lives and personal actions of the founders of these companies have really kind of ruined the entire company. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily the products are bad or, you know, company policy is bad. It's like the individual actions of the people at the top of each company, which I think is interesting. Because, I mean, you got to remember that, like, when you don't want to support Kat Von D or you don't want to support Jared Blandino or something, and there's nothing wrong with that if you don't want to support those people, but you got to remember that these companies are not just one-man shows. There's a whole bunch of other people that work for these companies at different levels, from production or whatever to marketing to, you know, like there's a massive team of people that, like, when you boycott a company, they're no longer making money, and it's not just gonna affect the person at the very top that you want it to affect. Obviously it will as well, but it's also affecting all these other people that are basically innocent in the situation, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, like, what can you do? Like, if you don't want to support Kat Von D, like, they're just kind of like collateral damage. Like, all of her employees are kind of collateral damage because they didn't do anything wrong, but at the same time there's no other effective way to boycott like Kat Von D without them kind of paying the price as well. Yeah, so I just thought these stories were kind of related. So does it surprise me that she's leaving the brand? Not really, because I think she's finally, like, realized she's been in a sinking ship for a long time, and it's all because of her own actions, and I feel like the only way for the brand to even continue at this point is for her to jump ship. I think everybody kind of knows that. So I think what she's doing is actually a good thing for the brand, because now they don't have that association with her as much anymore. Well, really at all anymore. I mean, the people she's leaving the company to, she's called Kendo. I don't know who they are or what, but Kendo has said that she is no longer affiliated with them in any capacity. She's not making royalties. She's not making any kind of a cut from anything to do with this brand anymore. It's basically she's gone. And I think that's like the best case scenario for this brand, because now they can really continue to make products that are good quality. Like, people never had a problem with the quality of Kat Von D products. From what I've heard, I've never personally owned any or used any, but from what I've heard, they were good quality and stuff. It was just literally that people had a problem with Kat Von D, the person. So now that she's no longer there, I feel like Kendo can really take this opportunity to rebrand, and I think it'll be a successful rebrand, because I think people, now that they see that their money is no longer going to support her, are going to be open to trying the brand again. And it could be, and from, like I said, from what I've heard, it was good quality before, so I'm sure it'll continue to be good quality now, and without the downside of supporting her. So it could just really take off and be a really popular brand now. But yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one as well, guys. If you used to be a fan and are one of the people that boycotted Kat Von D, are you going to go back and give it a try again with KVD Vegan Beauty again, now that she's no longer part of that whole thing? Or are you still just done with it? And if you are still one of those people that's like, no, I'm still done with it, why? Like, I'm curious to know, like, why, because if it was just her that you had a problem with and she's no longer part of it, then what's your issue, I guess? But, like, if you just had a problem with the products or something, like, that's totally valid. Like, I wouldn't continue buying products I didn't enjoy anyway, but I never really heard that kind of criticism for Kat Von D Beauty. Like, it was always about her, specifically. So I'm just interested to know what you guys think about these two stories that broke this week, and how do you feel about the cancel culture mentality as it relates to entire brands rather than a single person, or when it is a single person that's affecting the entire brand, kind of thing? Like, just any and all thoughts about this topic, please leave a comment below and we can discuss. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and give the video a like, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. All right, bye guys.